Okay, awesome. Well, we are ready to get started. So thank you everyone for being here and for joining us. It looks like we just had Nicole dial in too. Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
Hi.
How are
So
you?
good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Nice to see your face.
Same here.
So for everyone who's watching us, we have some of our special guests that are with us tonight. We have Christina, we have Anisha, and Nicole. We're going to have Justine too. She's running a little bit late from work. But you'll get to hear from these ladies tonight, so I'm really excited to introduce you to them. But for now, a couple admin announcements. I'm sorry about my voice. Hopefully we're going to power through here. I have my tea, I have cough drops, but this isn't how I normally sound. But we're going to make it here. I've been resting it all day and whispering, so we're going to make it. I did also email out a handout, so make sure you have that in front of you. I also posted it on Facebook, on my blog, so definitely make sure you have that. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you. So you'll be able to actually see that handout too. So basically tonight I am going to go over my 7 steps, my Love Your Career formula. I've been doing the same formula for over 5 years now. Justine, who's going to be on our call in a little bit here too, she was one of the first people who went through this formula. And it's just changed and grown so much over the last 5 years, working with women, helping them, tweaking it, improving it. So I'm really excited. I'm coming out tonight with the 2.0 version, and so it's better than it's ever been, and I'm really excited to get it out to all of you and to really have it help you move your dream careers forward faster. So all of these steps that I'm going to be sharing with you are part of my program, Love Your Career Formula 2.0. I'm going to give you like the highlights, the overview tonight, all of the steps that you need to take. But just know that if you do want even more detail, if you want to take it further, just like the women on the call tonight, you can go to loveyourcareerformula.com, and that will give you even more detail about all of the steps. I think there's also a link if you're watching this right now. Just click the Learn More link on that page, and that will take you directly to loveyourcareerformula.com. Okay, so first of all, just a little background. I think most of you do already know my story, but just wanted to make sure you all do know that I was once very, very stuck in my career, very, very unhappy with what I was doing, dreading Monday mornings, dreading every single morning. But I realized I really needed to take my career into my own hands and make decisions that were best for me, for my family, and instead of just doing everything for other people, for my bosses, for my clients. And so that's really when my life changed, my career changed, and I started getting involved in a community like like we have here. I started getting a coach for myself, and that's really when my life and career changed. And that's when I put together this simple system, the Love Your Career formula, because it's really what helped me. All of the steps in this journey that I've taken these past 5 years, this is what helped me. So it's kind of like the plan right out in front of you. Every step that you need to take is right here for you. One other admin note as well, if you have any questions for us, you can just write them in the chat box, and we will be getting to that. I have someone on my team who's monitoring the chat box, so feel free to post in there. I did want you all to post in the chat box right now. If you are ready to find a career you love, I want you to press yes. I want you to type yes in the chat box if you're ready to find a career you love. Awesome. I see a lot of yeses coming through. Tanya says yes. Tara says yes. Awesome. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so everyone here wants to find a career they love, so you're in the right place. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start on step 1, and I'm going to kind of share my screen with you. Christina, I'm going to come to you first after I go over step 1, so just get to give you a little warning, because I'm going to be talking about prep school in step 1. And Christina just went through prep school, so I'm going to be talking to her a little bit about that. But basically, we're going to go to the second sheet on your handout. Let's see here. Okay. So step 1 of the Love Your Career formula is prep school. And what this is this is a new addition to Love Your Career Formula 2.0. I actually didn't have it in previous versions. But what I realized is there was some really required training that was needed in order for people to move their careers forward and really find careers that they love, start businesses that they love. And so I created Love Your Career Formula 2.0 Prep School. And we actually did this prep school live this September. And so we went through each of these steps. We went through your mindset, so really creating your success mindset, talking a lot about confidence, talking a lot about getting over those roadblocks, fear and worry. So that's a really, really big part of attracting the job that you want is your mindset. Like that's one of the most important things that you could possibly have. And then step 2 is really your personal mastery. So it's really about figuring out your time, your calendar, creating your 90-day plan, putting together your goals, and also putting together your weekly plan. So you're in control of your schedule. And we also created our vision boards as part of prep school as well. And then it all comes down to really making the commitment. And so commitment is so important to finding a career you love. If you're not committed, then you're not going to be able to make that dream career happen. So we talk a lot about what your desires are, what your direction is, what your commitment is. And then we really also talk a lot about self-care as well. This is kind of a new addition that I've been adding into my programs as well because it's kind of a whole package. It's not just about your career. We have to make sure we're taking care of ourselves too by pampering, like, you know, drinking some tea for me right now. I'm sure you can tell my voice here. So taking care of our health and our bodies and also uncluttering and clearing the tolerations that are kind of building up. So taking care of ourselves. So all of this isn't necessarily job search and career related, but we touch on it in Love Your Career Formula 2.0 because it is so important to finding a career you love. So Christina, I wanted to go to you now. I wanted to ask you, because I know you mentioned how much prep school was helpful for you. So tell us a little bit about prep school and kind of how it helped change your career.
Sure. So before prep school, at the time, I was in advertising. I was in a job that I kind of liked, but I felt stuck because I felt like I was doing the same thing and I could only do one thing. And I think what really helped me is just gain clarity and the exercise of understanding what I'm good at, what my strengths are, what my passion is, what motivates me. And writing the exercise of doing the mission statement was kind of like really the aha moment for me. And it really helped me kind of craft a plan and realize that I have to just, commit to it. To your point, it's so interesting you said that because I've realized that like 90% of it is showing up and just doing the work. So it really helped me focus and helped me kind of figure out what I'm supposed to do and how I'm supposed to move forward and how I'm supposed to look for something. So that's kind of what I did.
Awesome. I know, I'm so proud of you. You've been with us for so long making all these changes, and tell us a little bit about where you are now and kind of what you made happen through the program.
Sure. So right now I was able to transition, so I call it a trifecta because I got unstuck a little bit. And I think what you really helped me realize is that my skills are more important and I can apply them in different environments. So, because at the time I was thinking quick service is all I can do. I don't know how to, but I have good skills. So right now I transitioned from an agency world to a marketing world to a corporate world. And I transitioned from just like a small area geographically that I was handling to something that's national. The last thing, what was the last thing? The industry. So instead of quick service, now just kind of having the casual dining industry. So still restaurant industry, but it's exciting because I get to grow and I get to try something new and I don't feel stuck anymore like I did before.
Awesome. I love it. And what would you say to someone who's like just starting the program or thinking about making that start?
I would say that I guess like I said, the commitment is number one. I agree with you. It's the 90% is showing up for sure, and realizing that even if you do one step, even if you take one thing away from this whole program, you're going to be so much further than where you were before. And once you kind of make one step, you will see the success. Celebrate every success. You will see it, and you'll want to move forward and forward. And I have to tell you, Anna, I have to thank you because you're always so committed, and you you would always show up on the calls, and I knew I had to do my work because I'm like, I know she's gonna be there, so I can't, I have to show up.
I know, I think that's how a lot of people feel. If you're in VIP, I'm there weekly. You got to show up. I'm asking you how you're doing and everything like that. So
yes, so thank you.
It's that accountability, though. That's what we all
It's
need.
accountability, absolutely, yes.
Exactly.
And you always are so good at just kind of asking the right questions. All those moments when I felt stuck, like you asked the right questions, and it made me feel like, okay, I can still do this. This is manageable. Because sometimes I think we get into our own head. I do. I get, I block myself, and you think, oh, I can't do all of this. But you ask the right questions, and it's doable.
Awesome. Well, I'm so proud of you, and I'm glad we got to talk face-to-face here tonight.
Me too.
So thank you for being here and for sharing with us your prep school experience. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next step in the Love Your Career formula. So we are going to go to the next step on the pamphlet, on the handout. I'm going to take a quick sip of water here. Okay. We are now going to cover What's My Calling College, and that's step 2. And so this is really, really important to figure out, to understand yourself first before we start resumes, before we start the actual online job search, before we even touch LinkedIn, any of that. This is where we start. So it's all about figuring out, what is that career you were born to do first? What is that ideal career for you? And these are all the things on the paper right now that kind of go into what your calling, what your purpose is. So we'll start at the bottom. So the very first thing that you do in Love Your Career formula is we really figure out what your personality is. We really figure out what type of career fits your personality best. Then we dive into feedback. So we look at, what are some of those strengths that other people are seeing as far as, what you do really, really well that you may not even realize that you do well. Then we dive into, kind of similar to what Christina was just saying, creating your mission statement, creating your purpose. All these things, we're going to look for a job that fits you, not necessarily make your work fit who you are. That's what this little triangle is all about. The next step is really figuring out, what ideal workday do you want? Like, if you could wake up in the morning and do exactly what you wanted to do all day, what does that day look like? Do you work in a cubicle? Do you work with a great team? Are you taking a lunch break to be home with your daughter? All that stuff. What is your ideal workday? The next is really thinking about, what are your interests? Your interests are those things that you can go back to your childhood and look and see what you were interested in as a child. Those carry with you throughout your entire life. So for me, a lot of my interests, I was always helping my girlfriends. I was like mentoring my girlfriends in middle school and high school. And so obviously I still have those interests today of mentoring and coaching and helping other women as well. So think about that. What were those things? The next thing is values and motivations. So your motivations can change throughout your life. So basically, if you become a mom, your motivations are very different than when you graduated college. So that's something to be thinking about, especially if you're mid-career and going through a career change and thinking about changing jobs and titles. And then the next one is your favorite skills. So what are your skills that you really, really enjoy doing? Not just skills you're good at. Like, I was really great at finance, but I hated it. So, not just skills you're good at and earn you a living, but you really, really enjoy doing them as well. And then it's really looking at your ideal work environment. So, what type of work environment do you want to work in? Do you want to work in, like an Apple type of work environment? Or do you want to work in kind of like maybe a startup work environment where there's like 5 people on the team, very small. So really thinking about that as well. And then also the last thing in What's My Calling College is looking at your prior work experience and looking at, what have you done up to today? What accomplishments have you had? What challenges have you completed? What are all those accomplishments and results that you have helped make happen? All of that will factor into the career you choose and also your resume too. So that's why I always add that into here, so then when it comes time to doing your resume, it's a lot easier. So then we move into step 3, which is dream career fit. So I love this step because this is where light bulbs happen. This is where, like, you know, my clients will come to me one week and they'll be like so bummed and like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And then they get to this section, they start doing informational interviews and start researching careers, and they get so excited. They're like, you know, finally these light bulbs are happening. I'm going in the right direction. So don't get frustrated if you're not here yet. It just takes those baby steps, taking the imperfect action forward. So this step, when I come back, Nicole, I'm going to be talking to you because Nicole is the one that took this step to another level. She did so many informational interviews, which I recommend in this step. She did so much research into different types of careers. She also did an entrepreneurial assessment to assess whether starting a business was right for her. Then she started targeting different careers, uncovering issues, and that all led into her ideal career outline. And I'm going to go back and ask you, Nicole, tell us about your ideal career outline, about your informational interviews, how it all went. Because I know, but they don't all know.
Okay. To begin, I started in a retail environment where I wasn't happy and I wasn't reaching the goals that I wanted to in my career. So my decision to change careers completely was to try to develop and identify what I really liked in my old career and what I really want to pursue in my new career. And the bottom line was that I found those answers out in my informative interviews. I was able to talk to a lot of different people in different careers, go and network at a lot of different kind of events, whether they apply to my career that is now floral designer or they apply to the idea of just women hanging out and getting coffee together. You learn something every time you met a new person about yourself or then about them and their career that you can maybe apply to your own career later on. At this point, even after completing the Love Your Career Formula program and also doing more work on my own, I still do informative interviews because what happens with informative interviews at this point in my career is that I'm still new and still trying to find the opportunities to make connections. Those connections have led me to jobs where I've connected with people, and I've been able to get more than one job out of one connection. So it's very gratifying. You find out who you click with versus who you don't. You understand if your personality can work in the environment that you will be working in, and then at the same time, you just learn more about yourself, and you really can hone in what type of career you want to have. So I learned a lot from my informative interviews.
Awesome. Thank you so much. What would you say would be the most like valuable to you about the program? Because I know informational interviews took you so many levels, like you found so many jobs because of that. But was there anything else that you would say to someone who's thinking about joining the program?
Yeah, I would have to say that joining the program allowed me to build my confidence. I was very much in a stuck environment with a lot of stuck feelings of loneliness and unsure about my own, abilities. And the program, along with the support calls and the to hear, even though other people are stuck too, to hear that they are um, dealing with the same anguished feelings one week and then they feel happier the next week. It just showed that there's a positive end to this cycle, and you had to be the change. And Anna and the whole program allowed you to find what you need to change to be more positive, to be more confident, and to also develop a better career for yourself so then you can come home every day and be happy.
I love it. And I love my job because I get to see you guys from the beginning to now, you know? So I totally ditto what you said about your confidence level and how you're just out there and doing great things now that you've gone the business route, and everyone, she's about to have a little baby too. So
Yeah,
thank you for being here. It's any day now, right?
yeah, I'm about 4 days from my due date.
Oh, congratulations. Well, we can't wait to get the update on you, and then also to help you as you go through the journey of becoming a mom too. I have a couple things that I know about that, becoming a working
Uh,
mom.
Yeah, you've been very informative with that. And I also like to mention that I had struggled during the time that I was working with trying to do the program and also trying to find a time on my weekends to really find that job that I love. And the time management skills that you offered and all the information that you offered about that was really eye-opening, and I continue to develop my time management skills. You always have to change it up because no matter what, if you're a mom or if you're not a mom, you do have things that distract you, and you have time that you could put towards your career, and it really makes a difference when you put and commit that time without any distractions towards your career versus if you do it half done or almost finished and you just give up. And time management is key in this program too, and I learned a lot about that.
Good, good. And you'll want to brush that off again too.
Yeah.
In a few months when you're ready. Yeah, for sure. And that's why I've added all that into the beginning of Love Your Career Formula now too, because time is something that so many women struggle with, especially as they begin this program. So we want to tackle that right away, and I'm glad you talked about the resources that are available and how you were able to get past a lot of those roadblocks, the time roadblocks. So good for you. Awesome. Keep us posted. I need a picture because
Okay.
I'm on pins and needles because we don't know if it's a boy or girl yet. So you have to let us know.
I will definitely. Thank you, Anna.
Okay, awesome. So let's go to our next step then. Let me pull up our handout. Okay, so we covered steps 1 through 3, and now we are on step 4. Okay, so step 4 is really a lot of fun too. Step 4 is all about community and network. And notice we have not even talked about resumes or online job searches or none of that yet. We are so totally focused more so on really understanding your best career fit first, and then really figuring out how your networking is going to make that happen. So 80% of jobs right now are found through networking, not through online job searches. I get so many emails. That's one of the biggest mistakes that people are making right now, is just updating that resume and start submitting jobs online. And so I like to teach a very different way, one that worked for me and has worked for many, 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 many other women as well. So what this step is all about is really identifying what your barriers are to networking. So what's keeping you from networking right now? There's a lot of different things that could be keeping you from that. So really identifying that first, and then coming up with your action plan. So how are we going to conquer those barriers and put together an action plan so you know how you should be networking, where you should be networking, the type of events you should be going to. We also help you work on your networking mindset. And so networking is very different when you're job searching, when you're kind of stuck in a rut, when you kind of are dealing with your confidence levels and everything. So we work a lot on mindset in this course. We also help you craft your elevator pitch as well. If you are a VIP member, we do that with you in person. We do a lot of different things in person with our VIP members. And then we also have the opportunity to do your network map as well. And so you will learn how to create your network map, so you won't be stuck with saying, like, who do I reach out to first? Like, who do I have in my network? Who do I even know? So we help you create your network map. And then we also help you put together your networking calendar. So as Nicole mentioned, time can be something that you struggle with in this course, just in life in general. And so we want to make sure that you put together your networking calendar correctly. And then also, something I love talking about is your 4x4 networking challenge. And so this is something, you don't have to start with your 4x4. You can start with a 1x1 or 2x2. But this is something that really helped me. I'll just give you a little background. Way back in 2011, long time ago, for an entire year, every month, I met with 4 people I did know and 4 people I did not know throughout the entire year of 2011. And it completely changed my life. And so that's why I love teaching about this networking challenge. I love teaching, even if it's just, a one-by-one meeting with people you do know and people you don't know, that's going to change your life as well. And then the little IN on the right side, if you don't know exactly what that is, it's probably because it's pink, not the normal blue, but that's the logo for LinkedIn. And so in this step, we dive into LinkedIn, really creating your LinkedIn profile, first we focus on creating the profile, so really making sure that your profile stands out, has everything that it needs to have in it. And then we work on using LinkedIn for networking. So really making sure that you're utilizing LinkedIn. You probably don't even know how many people are on there just waiting for you to get in touch with them. There's just so many opportunities on LinkedIn that I love talking about. So that's definitely something that you want to be taking advantage of, and we teach you how in Love Your Career Formula. So then let's go on to the next step. So step 5 is your classy resumes and documents. Of course, I had to add the classy word in there. So finally we're on resumes. So this is step 5, all the way until step 5 is when we get to talk about your resumes. And so the very first thing we do when we get to this step is not even start updating your resume. What we do first is really create your resume branding strategy first. Really knowing exactly why you're putting together a resume. Like, what is the goal of putting this resume together? What do you want people to know when they look at your resume? And then we dive into what the keywords are that you need to have on that resume. So by this time, you have a really good idea of what type of job you want. So this is not an overwhelming section. Like, this is not what you would think of, like, oh, I hate updating my resume. Like, now it's fun to update your classy resume because you know what type of job you want. And so this step is really about putting together your keywords, your job descriptions, really figuring out what your accomplishments are, what your results are, because we want your resume to be filled with a bunch of accomplishments and results. And then in Love Your Career Formula 2.0, we now have resume templates and cover letter templates that are actually approved. So if you wanted to become certified in Love Your Career Formula as a Love Your Career Formula professional, we have templates that you can use and populate just really easily. And I'll show them to you if we have time here because they're gorgeous. We just got them back from our designer. So if you're looking for something just a little step up than the black and white, we have that for you. So we really help you put together the structure of your resume and cover letter and a template as well. That's going to get attention right now with so many other applicants out there. And then the step is also about helping you with your application. So it's not just fill out things, copy, paste, and click, but we teach you exactly how to fill out that application so it gets past all the computers and actually onto a real live person. And then something else that's different about our program, like, we're really a one-stop shop, so we give you details on everything that you really need. So thank you letters. I mean, we have templates that you can use, so you're all ready to go with your thank you letter after your interview. We also have letters of recommendation, how to ask for letters of recommendation, and then also tips on how to get references. That's just something that you're probably not ready for, but you need to be, so we give you tips on that. And then also how to create a portfolio as well. And your portfolio is really where you're going to house all of your documents for Love Your Career Formula, for your job search, and then also something that's going to help you stand out in an interview too. So this is something I did when I was interviewing. Pull out that portfolio, have it ready to show in your interview, and it's totally going to make you stand out from the rest of the crowd. Okay. So I'm going to go on to step 6, and then I will be coming to you, Anisha, after step 6, because there's something I want to talk to you that has to do with your salary negotiation. So we'll go on to step 6. And so step 6 is really finally the time where we're going to actually get hired, or if you decide that you want to start a business, this is where you're actually going to make those first steps in starting your business. So this step really starts with strategy. So there's a whole strategy that comes with the online job search. So instead of sitting down, spending 3 hours applying to one job and never hearing back, we teach you a very different strategy to utilize your time, and also creating a schedule as well, a job search schedule, so that you're making the most of your time and you're focusing on the things that are really, really going to work in your job search. We also help you with your online reputation and your online brand. So that's something that's going to help make you stand apart from the rest of the crowd. Another thing that you want strategy for is the hidden job market. So there's so many opportunities out there right now that are not advertised online, and so I want you to get those opportunities over other people. So we also help you figure out, what emails and what call scripts you can use really in your strategy to get hired. And that leads us into the interview. And so this is the part that you really want to be prepared. Before you go to the interview, we all know you need to be doing some preparation. So if you're a VIP member of Love Your Career Formula, we help you individually doing mock interviews, so you are 100% prepared for that interview. But we also teach you some things about during the interview and after the interview that you really want to know as well. Like what happens after the interview? Can you follow up? Can you not? All those things that you don't really think about until after the interview. That's like, when am I going to find out? Now I just sit, and twiddle my thumbs. So all of those things we help you with. We also help you with, and this is where I'm going to come to Anisha, with your salary negotiation as well, and really figuring out how to do that and how to have the right mindset when it comes to talking about money as well. So I'm going to stop my screen sharing now and come back to you, Anisha. I would love to hear, so first of all, tell us where you're at right now, what job you got.
So sorry, I was on mute. So I am now a senior org change manager at Cambia Health, and that's in Portland, Oregon. And so I recently started about June of this year, and so the salary negotiations, I had a number in my head. Sorry, hold on a second.
We're all working moms here. It's all good.
I have to give them Apple Docs. So I basically started off having kind of, Anna had said, have a number in your head that you want no matter what. And so I actually, when I started the negotiations, started out high, and it was over Memorial Day weekend, and so there was a lot of just stress around it too, because I wasn't necessarily getting back to right away, and so finally, there's a couple of times we had to back and forth between the recruiter and I, and there was a hiring manager involved, and they came back with the number, and I wasn't satisfied with it, and so I called them back and I gave them what my minimum number was, and they accepted. So I was really fortunate to be able to get that number. I mean, it just felt really good to be able to get what I had asked for and what I wanted. It just made me feel good about going into the job,
Yes.
that first day.
I know, I loved it, and I love when I get those emails, yours, because I went back and looked at it. I asked for and got a 20% increase from what I used to make, and I got it. And you had the confidence from going through this program, just like Nicole was talking about too. So huge congrats to you. I love it. So what would you say was kind of the biggest benefit to you of the program?
I would say for me it was validating where I am. So I had made a career switch probably about 3 years prior to where I am today, and doing a lot of that work, that inward work and that DISC profile just kind of validated that I was on the right career and the right path. But for me, it really narrowed down really what I wanted to do in my career. So I was in a position that kind of went a mile wide versus a mile deep in the position, and now I'm kind of in a place where I'm sitting with an organization that I'm embedded into that organization and I'm part of a team, and so I get to kind of be a part of the change that they're doing and then see it all the way through from beginning to end. Whereas before, I was kind of this consultant that would get rolled on and off projects frequently or infrequently. So this is much more satisfying, I think, and the program really validated that this was the direction that I wanted to be in, but kind of fine-tuning it a little bit for myself.
Yeah, I love it. I think what I saw in you too is exactly what you're talking about. Is you kind of knew, but it really helped you to really look back at all those questions, really understand yourself more, so that when you did make that decision and you did say yes, you even could negotiate even more because you were 100% sure that that was the right career fit for you, right?
Correct.
Awesome. So what would you say to someone who's just about to start the program? What would be your big tip?
So I would say with it, I know sometimes it seems a little hard because you're trying to figure out whether this is the right direction or not, or this is something that you want to do, but I would say follow the steps in the program and follow them through, and you'll actually be able to help with, it'll actually help you kind of go through some of the angst that you may have about trying to find a new career, or just talking to people, networking with people validates right or wrong if you're in the right industry, and I think it's just a really well thought out program overall.
Thank you. And you were in the original one too, so I don't know if you've even had the chance to see the 2.0 version too, but it's something I am extremely proud of. So thank you, Anisha. That's a huge compliment coming from you for sure. So hopefully you'll be able to check out the 2.0 version as well. I think it'd still be helpful for you. So thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Awesome. Okay, so let's dive back into our formula. Okay. Okay, so we talked about the interview. Okay. Moving on. So at this point in time, you're past step 6. You are now certified to become a Love Your Career Formula certified professional. So this is something I'm really excited about in the 2.0 version. Once you complete the core modules and you've submitted documents to our team, to our other certified coaches for review and approval, then you have the opportunity to become certified as Love Your Career Formula certified professional. So what this allows you to do is you can put this on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile. Excuse me, I'm going to mute it so I can cough here for a second. Okay, we're back. My husband just said, good job for muting it and for coughing. Okay, so what this allows you to do, you can put it on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile. It allows you to tell your employer that you are thoroughly prepared for your dream career. You're 100% ready. Very similar to what Anisha was just saying, how confident and how ready she was. That's what being a certified professional and Love Your Career Formula shows, that you've done your homework and you are prepared. So it's really my goal to have, a world full of people that are certified professionals and Love Your Career Formula, and for people to see when they're interviewing people, oh my gosh, this chick is so prepared. She knows what she wants, and she knows how to interview, and has this awesome resume, and it is just knows that this is the right career for her and is so passionate about her career. That is someone that I want to be as a certified professional, which is why I'm super excited to bring that to everyone who signs up. You will get an opportunity to be certified if you are a VIP member, because that way we can actually look at all of your documents, your resume, and we can help you with your mock interview, all that stuff. I do want to mention, though, if you joined us a little late too, you can learn more about Love Your Career Formula at loveyourcareerformula.com, or you can click the link on the page that you are viewing this webinar at right now. We do have limited VIP spots. So I know at the beginning of this call we just had a couple left. So definitely check that page out. That page will tell you, my team's doing the numbers and all that stuff, so that page will tell you if there are any spots available left in VIP. Okay, so now we're moving on to step 7. Take a sip of water. Okay, so step 7 is also new in Love Your Career Formula 2.0. And this is all about loving your work and life. So I mentioned this at the very beginning, that my programs are not just about your work and your career. There's a whole life aspect to it as well. And especially as women, you can see, we have Anisha who was on the call. She's kind of working, and she has her son with her as well, and she's kind of doing it all. And so that's what step 7 is all about. We take you through what I call the Female Leadership Academy, which really helps you in those first 90 days of finding a career you love, helping you to get off a great start at your job when you do get it. We also focus on your strengths as a leader, as a female leader. So you guys, most of you may know that I wrote a book about female leadership. And so this is something I'm really, really excited to bring to Love Your Career Formula. So even after you do get the job, and that's why I said Anisha needs to check this out too, because after you do get the job, we're going to help you succeed at that job as well. And we're going to help you have confidence, get promoted, and get even more raises at that job. And we're also going to help you with your life balance too. So it's not just to find a job and then go away, but we want to really help you throughout your entire career, helping you love your work and life. In step 7, we also have advanced training for job searchers. So if you wanted to change into a new industry, we have training on that as well, and we help you with that. And also if you need to get experience, that's something else that I'm hearing so much on the survey is like, I don't have experience. Well, we help you navigate that as well. And then also we help you with job fairs. We help you if you're trying to move to a different city for a job search. We'll help you with that as well. And then we'll also help you if you're working with temp agencies as well. We can help give you some training on working with temp agencies too. And then the next step, the next category in step 7 is social media. And so what I'm bringing to Love Your Career Formula 2.0 is now all of my knowledge and love for social media. And so we're going to help you actually find a new career using Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and of course LinkedIn, but we already talked about LinkedIn. But there's just so many opportunities on social media to find hiring managers and to get jobs. Like, it's happening left and right, and this is how you're going to stand out from the competition. It's how I did. I also am bringing a whole aspect of blogging for jobs into this step as well, because that is how I got jobs, is through my blog. And so I love talking about blogging. It's really what changed my life, and so there's a whole module on how to set up a blog for your career search in Love Your Career Formula 2.0. And then the next bonus as well in step 7 is a whole entrepreneur track. And so we have had a lot of people very similar to Nicole that we just talked to who go through the program and realize that becoming an entrepreneur is what they really want to do. And so we've now created this whole track where people can actually take this section, this bonus section, which is going to help them narrow down their entrepreneurial ideas. It's going to give them the first 5 steps that they need to take in order to set up their new business, help them realize, if starting a business is right for you. I mean, it's not right for everyone, so we kind of walk you through that. A lot of the common myths that go with starting a business, if you're kind of on the fence and have a lot of fear, and then also walking you through how to avoid some of the most common mistakes that happen with new entrepreneurs. And that's kind of like my prep school for my other program that you may have heard about, but that's called corporaterescueplan.com. What Corporate Rescue Plan does is it really helps women ditch their day jobs and start businesses, and then lead those businesses into full-time businesses. So we've built in kind of a track to that program into step 7. So if you're considering starting a business but aren't sure, then this is the perfect program for you to really narrow down those ideas and to really be set and ready to start that business, so that when you do dive into Corporate Rescue Plan, my other program, you're ready to hit the ground running. Because then in that program, we're like setting up your website, we're getting you off the ground and we're making it happen. So you really have to be prepared and ready, and Love Your Career Formula is set to get you ready for that as well. So those are the 7 steps, and really what we are building in Love Your Career Formula in those 7 steps is we are building happy, successful, and balanced women. And this is really where I invite you. You are all more than welcome to join us, and I ask you, are you in? Because this is something that can really change your life. Just like the women that we've talked to today, this is something that is a step. You know, it's that step to your dream career, and it's a step to something that you know you are going to love to do. So I'm going to go back and stop sharing my screen. Okay, there we are again. So at this point, I do want to make sure that I get to questions. I know we did have some questions that were coming in. So John is here. He is our Chief Operating Officer and also the classy husband who has been collecting some questions. So if you're in the chat box, post your questions in there and we will definitely get to those. A couple things I do want to say though, also, remember, if you did want to check out Love Your Career Formula, you can go to loveyourcareerformula.com, and that will give you all of the details about it. There are a couple bonuses for today. So if you did want to join us today, we are giving bonuses of our resume templates that I talked about. So these are those new resume templates we just got back from our designer, and they are gorgeous. They're really pretty. And so you have access to the templates, so you can make sure your resume stands out from everyone else if you purchase today. The other bonus that we have is our time and productivity guide. So just like Nicole mentioned, time is a real struggle, and we want to get you right off to the right start. So that's the first thing that we want to tackle by giving you the bonus of the time and productivity guide for job searchers and people who are changing their careers. That's really, really going to help you. Okay, so congrats. I do already see, I'm looking at my iPad, there are already orders coming in. So I'm really excited for you guys to work with you. If you guys have just purchased, if that's you, this really is the first step to changing your life. So I get so excited when people step up and really decide to make that change into their life. Okay, so I'm going to check the chat box. Do we have questions? Oh. So our first question, do we have a name of the person? I like to say names. Mary. Hi, Mary. Okay, so our first question comes from Mary, and she says, when does it start? So Love Your Career Formula 2.0 officially starts now. Basically, what we've been doing for the past 3 months is we've been revamping the entire program. We've been changing it up. So our next VIP call, so if you decide to join VIP, we have our weekly live calls every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And so our next call would be next Tuesday. And that would allow you to get started. What we're going to do on our first call is actually go over how to take this course. I'm going to give you all my tips so that you know how to take this course and you know how to take the right schedule, because we have different schedule options available for people. So that's the VIP start date. If you choose self-study, obviously you're on your own, you're self-motivated and want to do this yourself, so you can start instantly. You have access to all the modules right away. I hope that answered your question, Mary. Okay. Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so this came, keep it up so I know. Okay, so this came from someone, let me take a sec. So I'm going to have to go back to the handout for this one. So this comes from an anonymous person. Her question, or she just didn't put her name in. Her question is, what kinds of things come under issues in step 3? So let me just take you back to the handout so you know what I'm talking about, because I know what she's talking about, but you probably don't. Okay, so let's go to step 3. Okay. So right on the bottom here, uncover issues. So that uncovering issues is all about making sure that that's the right career fit for you. So a couple issues that could come up is if you're targeting different companies, you want to make sure that those companies aren't going to go under next year. right? So you don't want to be the last in at a certain company. So uncovering issues is all about researching companies. It's all about researching industries. So for instance, I used to work for the government, and there was times when the government would have budget cuts and would tell people they couldn't come to work, right? So those are all the sorts of issues you want to be aware of, like how fiscally sound is the government right now if you're trying to get a government job. Same with teaching, all that stuff, just being very, very mindful and focused on what potential issues could come up in the industry and at the company you're interviewing at. This is also when you're uncovering issues about pay as well. So we do a deep dive into into what your ideal pay is, like what is the pay that you need for your budget right now, like how much do you need to make, and then how much is that ideal career going to pay you, like is there an issue between what you want and what you'd be able to get. So that's where we'd uncover that as well. And then another issue that can come up too is when you do decide what your career is that you want, we look and see if that career is available in the location that you want it at. So for instance, that could be an issue. Maybe you want to be, maybe you want to be a marine biologist, but you live in Iowa, So that's a good example. There might be an issue with where you're located in order to have that dream job. So those are some examples. I hope that helped you. Let's go back to... Do we have any other questions? Oh, that's all of our questions. So if you have any more questions and you're listening, then make sure that you put them in. Oh, you do have, well, we had some that were written in before. Should I cover those? Okay. So we had a question that came in from Laura from before the call today, and she said, what makes your program different than all of the other programs out there? Because I know that there are so many different programs out there and so many different career coaches out there and all that stuff. So I thought this one would be a good one for us to tackle since we're waiting for other questions to come in. So the big thing about our program is that I hired an outside apprentice who came in, and she helped us put together an improvement plan. What she did is she looked at every single other program that's out there. So the benefit of this is that we did that deep dive. We know what else is out there, and we know what makes our program unique. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to actually read what she wrote us back. So remember, this is totally outside perspective. This is no one that's actually within our company. But here's what she told me. She said, while researching competitors for Love Your Career Formula, there's a saturated market for massive open online courses offering free career search and career development courses in virtually any subject desired. While most of these courses are free, Love Your Career Formula 2.0 creates a streamlined introduction to key career search topics in a uniform and organized format, which exposes clients to the necessary career search information they need and guides them in the process, thus removing the barrier facing many of these searchers who don't always know exactly what to search for and what sequence to follow. So that is basically the big difference, is like you've seen today, there is an exact system to follow, an exact schedule to follow. So instead of Googling, oh, this or that, or you may not even know what to Google or what, you're in this position, you're watching this webinar right now, you probably don't even know what to do. That's what Love Your Career Formula is. It's really that step-by-step feedback, so you can ask us a question at any time and get this community and support that you need. So hopefully that helped you. Any other questions? Or there's another question that came in before too. Oh, good question. So we have a question that came in from another anonymous person. Okay, so it's about prep school. So if anyone doesn't know, prep school is step one. That's really, really important. It's required for anyone joining. And I think what this person is referencing is that it's still on the page that you're going to. Prep School live event access on September 15th, 22nd, and 29th. That's when we held our live prep school calls. And there was also workbooks in there. So she caught us. We're not perfect. Those dates are still on that page. Those dates are in the past. Do you still have access to this? Yes, 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 you do. You have access to all of the prep school events. You can get started on them. They're recordings now, but all of the workbooks and everything is available to you. So yes, you do. You have everything that you need for prep school. Okay, we have another question. Let me read it. Interesting. Okay, let me just read it for you. This is another anonymous person. She says, as someone who is also in finance with a husband in finance too, how are you able to discuss your career change with your husband, knowing that your future salary may or may not be as much as your previous salary, resulting in potential lifestyle changes? This is a good question, definitely something that we dealt with, but I think for me, especially when you're talking to your family and to your husband, happiness is really important. I know my husband and I now, we work together, but we're a lot happier. And so I don't know where you're at, if you're unhappy in your job right now, but obviously you're pursuing something else. So that's something I think I would bring into the conversation is how happy and how fulfilled you're going to be as a wife. You know, how much, you're just going to be a happier wife. And like we talked about, your work and your career and your life, everything is so combined as females. Like that's just what happens, especially if you become a mom too. And so I think that's really important to bring the happiness into aspect when you're talking to him. If you're talking about money, as far as investing in yourself in a program such as this, I get that question a lot. So that might be kind of what you're getting at too. And so what I would recommend, if you want to join Love Your Career Formula, if you want to invest in yourself, I'd recommend that if you have to go ask your husband, a significant other, someone else, that you have made that commitment first. Because if you're not committed into your career change, they're going to sense that. They're going to know, I don't think this is something that they're really, for. And so why would I give them the money to do that, right? So I would make sure that when you go, that you ask, but you say it as, very committed, like this is a program that I want to have, that I want to be in, and these are the benefits that it will provide me with. Finding that career that you're born to do, being happy and fulfilled and jumping out of bed and being really excited, living the life that you're meant to live. Like all those things are benefits. And he's going to see that benefit too. It improves your marriage. I mean, there's no doubt about our marriage is so much better just because we're now both doing something we're passionate about and really excited about, and we love what we do. We love our lives. And I was going to say something else, and I think I forgot. Oh, also the other thing too is if you're asking him for making this investment, I would also always show, what the benefit will be cost-wise too. Guys like numbers; they like to see, what the benefit will be. And so if you can show them, show him like what the benefit, like what the impact will be in the future. Obviously the beginning, it sounds like maybe you are starting your business or something like that, or maybe you're just doing a career change. The beginning might be tight, it might be different, you might have to budget a little more. I know at one point I went part-time, and then I completely quit. And so I've been there. You sometimes you really just do have to budget differently, change things up. But it's definitely doable. So if you come already prepared with some of those ideas, I think that's definitely something that could help as well. If any of you ladies too have answers to any of these questions, jump in too. You guys are all on mute, so if you want to answer any of these questions as well, just unmute yourself and then you can ask that question. Oh, we have 1 minute left. Okay, so if you have any more questions, we have 1 minute remaining. We like to end our calls on time, if you can't tell. Do we have any more questions? Okay, so let me tackle the one more question that came in before this call from Shelly. Okay, so her question was, what is the difference between VIP and self-study in Love Your Career Formula 2.0? And I wanted to answer this question because this is probably one of the most frequently asked questions I've been getting when I'm talking with clients. And so the big thing about this is that the actual content is the same. The videos are the same. The workbooks are the same. Everything is the same, except that in VIP, you actually will get direct access to me on weekly coaching calls and also in our Facebook community with unlimited resume reviews, with mock interviews, kind of like that step-by-step support system that Christina and Nicole were talking about too, helping you, guide you, giving you that accountability and support that you need. But if you like doing this alone and if you think you can do it alone, like go for self-study. Like people have done it, so there's no reason you can't do it as well. Awesome. Well, my phone keeps going off every time that we get an order too, so I'm really excited. We have a lot of you guys jumping on board. I'm so pumped for you. Like, I'm so excited to welcome you guys all in. If there's anyone else that's kind of on the fence right now, I do offer complimentary sessions for about 15 minutes, and we can discuss if this program is right for you, if you're still kind of on the fence. So you can schedule that at classycareergirl.com/application, and that's where you can fill out that application and then schedule your session with me as well. Anything else come on? Any more questions? Okay, well, I think we're good for the night then. So I would love to do, on the count of 3, all 3 of us are going to say bye, me, Nicole, and Christina. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Bye, everyone. Bye. Come on, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.